Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 6 of SICSS-Howard Mathematica. This is the day you've all been waiting for. We start our speed dating and research exercises. You've heard about this, you've dreamed about this, it's actually happening. But before we get into that, before we get into anything this morning, no mantra, nothing, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce our inspirational speaker for this morning. The multi-hyphenate phenom over at Mathematica, who is the reason for the season over here, the reason all this exists, Akira Bell. If you don't know, you need to Google. She's incredible, and she's going to spend a few minutes with us just getting you hyped up for all that is to come.
All right, I don't know if hyped up is the right word, but I'll do my best. Before I get started, I just want to invite the remainder of you to share your video if you can, if only for a favor to me. One, I love seeing you, and two, it's easier to talk to faces rather than just your text names. So if you can, I invite you to turn on your video so that I can see you. And, not to mention, part of the inspiration for having SICSS-Howard with the specific theme that we have here is to elevate different voices, for different voices to be heard and seen. So I'd love to start the day actually seeing each of you. When I met with Nanette, I am the CIO at Mathematica. One of the founders of the SICSS program is on our board and reached out to us here at Mathematica to host a SICSS environment, a SICSS Institute for the summer in DC. And as I thought about doing it, I thought that the most important thing for us to do in sponsoring this institute was to bring some people into the institute. And I thought that a partnership with Howard was very important. I wanted to see faces like yours in this institute. I wanted to see people like you gaining these resources, applying them to problems, solutions that are of interest from an equity perspective, from an anti-bias perspective. What we were hoping to create was a bench of awesome and brilliant individuals who could bring new voices, new problems, new solutions to the table. When we think about computational social science, sometimes it matters who the interpreter is. Sometimes it matters who the designer is of the methods. And in deference to that, we wanted to have each of you here. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your brilliance with us and the Institute. I'll be with you guys on Friday. Friday is my favorite day. That is the day that I get to hear all about your research and the types of things that you're interested in. But hopefully you guys feel really inspired to be together and meet each other in this space. I know Nanette has probably done an awesome, shouldn't even say probably, I know she has done an awesome job guiding you through this first week. But I'd love to hear from any of you guys. How are things going? Silence. Is it just the Monday morning? I'm tired.
Everything it's okay, wonderful, people brilliant, guidance, amazing. Thank you, Howard. Thank you, SICSS. Thank you, Nani. Everything we are learning here. Thank you.
Kevin, how about you? How are things going?
Things are going pretty good. I was gonna say that over the first week I learned a lot. Got a chance to really meet a lot of interesting people. Got a chance to see the kind of breadth of research. A lot of time research is very siloed, and so getting to see so many people from so many different disciplines was really a cool experience. And especially in the context of like computational social science, it was definitely something that I'd never really experienced before. So it's been really good.
Excellent.
Yeah, I want to say this has been an interesting trajectory for me. In terms of learning different things, collaborating with different people. It's been really exciting, and I know I'm going to be able to use most of the tools I've learned here for my future projects, and then collaborate with some people also here. So I think it's been a really cool space, meeting a lot of people and learning new things. And Nanette has really kept all of us on our toes with her vibes and the great people we've been speaking with. It makes me at least know that it's possible to do this. So I'm very appreciative.
It is indeed. Well, I wanted to hear and see each of you. I failed to share any information about myself. And I know Nanette told me that I was supposed to do that at the top. So I did fail to do that. But again, I'm Akira Bell. I'm the Chief Information Officer here at Mathematica. I've been working in the tech space for coming up on 30 years. I'm not ashamed to say I'll be turning 50 shortly in a couple of weeks. I have two beautiful twins who just graduated college. Although legacy has been a dirty word in the press lately, my daughter, myself, and my mother just celebrated being the first 3 generations of women to graduate from Princeton. My daughter graduated from Princeton just this past spring. And it was important for us to celebrate it specifically because legacy doesn't usually look like a Black woman. And my mother was in the first class of women in 1971. And then I came in 95, and my daughter came in and just graduated this spring. And typically when people see us, they say, oh, you're the first Black women. And we kind of have to remind them, no, we're actually the first women of any color to have 3 generations attend. And then that always tells me to share that story, although I don't always lean into that story, because it's also been important for my mother, myself, and my daughter to have our own stories individually. That's not just about building on what came before us, but absolutely we all couldn't do what we do without those who came before us. So it is certainly part of, as Nanette says, my origin story, but the 3 of us have very different trajectories. My daughter is a social scientist, my mother is a social scientist, and I am a technologist. So it must have skipped a generation. But we've all gotten a lot out of the university and continue to grow and thrive. I hope one of the things that I hope never stops for all of you, you all are in school, but the learning and pursuit of learning should never end. I'm still learning. I love learning even from you guys. I come here every Friday, the last day of Friday of your institute, to learn from you, and I'll be doing so then. But just keep growing, keep learning, keep giving. Keep giving what you have, keep giving your brilliance, but keep giving it in means that is impactful and important both to you and to the world. I'd say part of why I came to Mathematica, I had a wonderful, stellar career in Fortune 100 global companies for most of my career. And then 5 years ago, I came to Mathematica because I decided I wanted to use my gifts and talent, not just to create shareholder value for lots of wealthy people. I decided to come to Mathematica because I wanted to share what I had to give in a space that was a little bit more meaningful. a lot more meaningful. So now I'm in a company that works on, healthcare and education and nutrition and agriculture and climate change. And that feels better for me than the spaces I was working in before. Although I learned a ton, it feels better. And the only shareholders here are the employees themselves, as we're an employee-owned company. You'll hear a little bit more about Mathematica, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday. We have our roundtable. I will not be there. I apologize in advance that I will not be there, but hopefully you'll learn a lot about Mathematica. And if at all you have any future questions about Mathematica, I know I haven't seen you a lot, but please do email me. I think my email address is on the site. I'll answer anything. Just put 6 in the subject heading and I'll read it and I'll get back to you. If you have questions about Mathematica, tech, what do you do next outside of academia, I'm here for you all. So please don't be a stranger and please do reach out.
Please join me in thanking Akira. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are about to jump into our next activity, but I think that what a beautiful way to start our morning. And we can't wait to see you on Friday. Have a great day, Akira.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, folks, we always work in a little extra break in the morning and some leeway because we always run over today because there's so much to cover and so much we want to give you to prepare you to head into this exercise. Don't worry, we have more than enough time, and if we need to, we can adjust our schedule slightly. But as we do every morning, I want to remind you, be who you are and as you are enough. What you have to give and the questions you bring to the table are enough. Take care of your biological, technological needs, etc. as they come up. You should eat whenever you need to eat, on camera even, turn your camera off if needed. Everyone is a student here, no matter what your title. That's for our faculty. Set your personal intention for today. Start thinking about what your personal intention is for the Institute. It's not too late to reset that or set one period if you haven't done it. Is there something specific you want to learn, a skill you want to begin to master, or do you want to just drink from the almighty fire hose from which is delivered and revisit again after the Institute? With that in mind, I encourage you to take a look at our blog. Your instructor, Andrea Adams, wrote about drinking from the fire hose from SICSS-Howard Mathematica. It's up on, we should be tweeting about it if it hasn't happened already, and it's on the Sage page. Is it a collaboration on a project? Is it asking questions confidently? Is it practicing R? Set your intention for today. It can change tomorrow. It can change midday. It's yours and yours alone. Run your own race. Choose your own adventure. If you're looking for some inspiration, I encourage you to take a look at, and I'm going to drop this in the chat box. This is something incredible written by one of my former Berkeley classmates, who's now an assistant professor at University of State University of New York, Albany, Professor Zawadi Rukhsahidiyana. It's called "Sometimes You Know Best." It's by my incredible and brilliant UCB classmate. Check that out if you're looking for some inspiration. And once again, I encourage you to breathe today. So we're going to drop our question in the chat box for you. That question is, what superpower would you want? And please humble brag for us. What superpower would you want? And please humble brag for us. Work on that while I go over our logistics, and then we'll jump straight into our activity for the day, talking about that. This is the last day that we start at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So starting tomorrow, we are at 9:30 Eastern time to go over logistics, and then you jump into your research teams and such. So we start at 9:30 tomorrow, 9:30 EST. For anybody who wants to complain about that, just so you know, my whole team is here for at least an hour before that starts. Okay, so save the drama for you, Baba. But we'll see you in the morning. See you in the morning bright and early. I'm going to give out the Mathematica T information to contact them very soon. We're not going to give that to you just yet. We want you to focus on the activity. We'll give that to you a little bit later in the afternoon. But once you have a good sense of your research ideas, you'll be able to directly contact the TAs from Mathematica and start scheduling times to talk with them about your research. Today is all about figuring out your research stuff, and we'll give you the resources you need very soon. Okay, I love that, freezing time. I'm all aboard on freezing time, Nina. That's fantastic. I'd like to teleport to the end of my dissertation. And that's where I'd like to teleport to. I want to let you know that you'll have some other support today. 3 of our alums, Amber Mackey, Erica Gatto, and Todd Hall. You remember Todd, he was one of our instructors last week, will be joining us around 1:15. They'll be floating around to be research buddies for you to talk about process, check in and see how you're doing, give you a little pep talk if needed. We are going to drop a few things in the chat box once we start. We'll share the speed dating slides and our speed dating exercise with you. Don't want to distract you from these all-important logistics before then. Just also want to remind you, our bite-sized lunchtime talk today is with a mentor of mine from Los Alamos National Lab, Sarah Del Valle. Our leads on that conversation, our question leads are James, Jacqueline, and Mengo, okay? James, Jacqueline, and Mengo will pull you into the room with her when she arrives. Please make sure you have questions ready. So that's our lunchtime talk. Our first guest speaker, Desmond Upton Patton, will be with us this afternoon. Our question askers are Rohitha, Nina, Jacqueline, James, Beth, Gia, Rebecca, and Dereje. You will be pulled into the room with our speaker when he arrives. You'll get to network a little bit, and we're very excited about your questions. Alongside, Ezene will be moderating that. I am moderating the one with Sarah. Ezene will be moderating the one in the afternoon. Excited about your questions. Great person to network with. Just arrived at Penn, leader of Safe Lab. Lots of very cool things he's doing. So looking forward to your questions. Let's go ahead and screen share so we can take a look at our keep, start, stop slides. Please go ahead and screen share for me, please, Ankita. This should be quick. Day 5, this is from Friday. Start. Oh, sorry, keep. All the wonderful staff and GAs and speakers. Thank you. We love your love. Please make sure you thank the staff when you encounter them. Go ahead, please head to our start. Places for meal get together for those who live in geographical proximity. Yeah, please, y'all, start planning. Like, I don't know if you want to ask me to set up a room by region for you to meet on our breaks. Happy to do that so you can figure out your lunch. I'd love to buy y'all lunch, send y'all out to lunch if you're near each other. Let me know what you need and I'll happily set that up on our breaks. Next slide. Stop, nothing. Great, thank you. Love to hear from you though. Anything else? One love, love that, thank you. All right, keeping it moving along. Let's review the schedule for the day very quickly. Let's get the schedule up, please. Schedule. Please get up the schedule for me, Ankita. I have no idea what regions you're all in, so I need more information than set up rooms. So y'all get yourself organized and let me know what you need me to do. All right, so schedule, okay. 10 to 10:15 logistics, ran a little bit over on that. 10:15 to 10:30 break, didn't get that, sorry. 10:30 to 11:45, you will have your 15-minute sessions where we rotate you through rooms. We are probably going to need to adjust that a little bit unless we start in 6 minutes. So I apologize for that. Our opening speaker went a little bit longer than normal and we started a little bit late. So we will make up for time, don't worry. But we will make sure you get your first 5 rounds, 15 minutes each in groups. I'm about to go over the slides for that in just a second. All right, we will adjust. We have built-in breaks in case we needed to adjust. Then we'll have our bite-sized lunchtime talk, like I mentioned, maybe a break, maybe not, depending on how our day goes. Then you'll get a break after your round 6 through 10. Then there's a family free-for-all. So we put you all in one giant room and y'all can talk about stuff and figure out how you want to organize it yourselves, maybe pitch to the whole group. We put you in a room for you all to figure out what next. So we want to give you that space of just community. So we may, if we run over a little bit, eke into that just a touch to get you to your 10 rounds. Don't worry, we built in lots of time today in case things go awry, which they usually do. And then we do a group debrief. You join your research teams and we'll talk about the timeline on that. You'll have the ability to change that through the end of Tuesday night. So I'll tell you, I switched teams like 2 or 3 times. So be prepared for the ups and downs of figuring out what you want to do. And then we'll finish with our talk and office hours from Desmond Upton Patton. The first hour is Q&A. And then we have 30 minutes. And if you'd like, you all can start signing up for those on the same document where you signed up for Q&A. You can sign up for office hours or figure it out in a minute. We'll have 3 rounds of office hours and you can spend some time chatting with him in 10-minute increments. Okay. So I know I went over that quickly. Don't worry. We'll fill in everything you need to know over the course of the day. Let's hop back. Let's go ahead and drop screen share. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and share the screen, the speed dating slides and the activity with them. And Keitha, go ahead and add the SICSS-Howard Mathematica 2023 email address to those and drop them in the chat box for me, please. Go ahead and give them access and drop those 2 documents in the chat box for me, please. Thank you. So those are the slides. We're going to start there. So Ankita, can you go ahead and screen share those for me? And again, folks, it looks like we're behind. Again, we planned for this. Do not worry. You will be fine. All right, please go ahead and screen share and start the slides for me to go over, please, Ankita. All right, so next slide. So this is our modified speed dating experience. The main site tends to do things a little differently. This works for us and has led to some pretty incredible research experiences. Next slide. All right, so why do we do group projects? Better science. We think this is especially true for computational social science. And we think that group projects may be the best and most efficient way for us all to learn from each other. You are allowed to do an individual project, but I challenge you to take advantage of all the incredible resources amongst your classmates. I've told you all before that when I get stressed, one of the things I do is I try and go it alone. And usually I'm like, I can learn this all by myself. I can be a master of Python at the end of today. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So lean into your classmates and I challenge you. And I remember one of our instructors, I believe that was Grace, it also encouraged you to try and join a group and not go it alone. So next slide. So challenges of group projects, we're not going to pretend those don't exist. Tremendous diversity of skills. You got to find good group chemistry. You have limited time, different goals, and there's always the possibility of free riding, right? So I'm hoping at this point we've realized that one of the reasons why we have you all do the Q&A is to create an environment of everybody giving to each other, right? So we love hearing your questions, and we're hoping you'll try and find a group and an experience where your skills are needed and you can contribute. We want you to get a good experience out of this. Next slide. So these projects can take on many forms, from original empirical research to creation of open source tools. We had a suggestion about best practices early on from one of our participants, Hoel, and I commented on how I thought that was a great opportunity for a project. In 1 week, many groups will only find enough time to create a proposal. Those so many have pilot results by the end of the week. Success looks like different things. There's limited seed funding that may be available during our time together for pilot research for projects that are fairly advanced. It's pretty rare that we give funds during the Institute for critical next step costs. But if you get there, there's a possibility of that. You'll need something pretty fleshed out. And we'll talk about that. And of course, additional funding is available after the site ends exclusively to our participants and alums. Next slide. All right, so we're going to jump into the activity. So we're going to start by crowdsourcing a list of research interests in our Google Doc. So you'll notice the second document that we put in the chat box is a Excel spreadsheet. So we're going to take 5 minutes and do an exercise. So let's go ahead and screen share the Excel spreadsheet so I can show folks what we need them to do. And Keitha. And again, we're not behind, more than enough time. Our groups are a little smaller this year, so you'll probably have generally a little bit more time to present to. Let's share that document. Okay, so let's start with the instruction sheet, please. All right, so you're going to navigate to the Howard Brainstorming tab, write your name in an empty row in the first column, add a new column that describes your general research interests, and put a 1 in the row, in your row or any other row you're interested in across from your name. 0 for ones you're not interested in. Later on, we'll add descriptions, and then you'll get a chance to construct your team. We won't worry about that now. We're just doing 5 minutes of brainstorming. So let's go to the sample sheet. So this is what it looks like. Your name, email, there's a bunch of projects across the top and ones and zeros based on your interest. So we're going to go to the Howard brainstorming sheet now. And we're going to give you 5 minutes to start populating it. So when I say brainstorming, I mean every insane idea you've ever had in your life that might involve computational social science, creating a tool that you're just interested in your dissertation. So think about like a couple of word term that describes that. And over time, we might combine some of these. So you should have editing access right now. So to start, please just add your names in the sample in the column below name. So we populated this with the 3 words you gave us when we had you fill out our little form. So this also lists out all the interests of everybody currently. Feel free to edit this too. I'm sure you were like, why is she asking us for 3 words? Feel free to change this if you'd like. These are the 3 words that you gave us. We're looking for 3 research topics of your interest. All right, take the day to flesh out your ideas. So you're going to be pitching all day today, 5 minutes to speak each, usually get feedback, connect with each other on ideas, be mindful of time. If you've got 3 people in your group, make sure everybody gets some time to speak. I'm hoping that in addition to you saying, I'm really excited about this idea or these 12 ideas, that you all are going to find overlap and be like, oh, how about this new idea? And then shove it on the sheet. So I want you over the course of these 10 rounds to start thinking about what you want to do, group or solo work. And in the afternoon, we're going to talk about team construction. Each person will write down their favorite group project idea. Favorite means one. Everyone will put their name next to the group project they want to join. You may put your 1 down and then be like, you know what, forget that and switch to another group. That's fine. We'll talk about that later in the afternoon. And again, keep in mind, you'll have more than today to make these decisions about your project. Next slide. All right, so we encourage you to post, to schedule meetings, post ideas on Slack. This room is going to be open all day tomorrow and throughout the week for you to have meetings with each other. So you can say, hey, let's meet in room Biggie or whatever and talk later. So you'll have time for that. You'll be able to add to the project plan up until tonight at 11:59 p.m. It'll be okay to change your intentions until the end of tomorrow. And then we'll announce everyone's final groups on Wednesday morning. Next slide. All right, this is the timeline for the week. You'll have access to these slides, so I know I'm going fast. You can go back through them. Develop project ideas and make research teams today. Refine group project ideas and choose a research team. Define a solo path, work on group paths tomorrow. Tuesday through Thursday, continue to work on group projects, seed funding for groups available on request, rolling basis for very, very advanced projects. Friday, group presentations with feedback. Next slide. All right, deliverables. You'll give a 10 to 20 minute presentation, whether you choose an individual or group path on these questions. And we'll go over that again later. Next slide. So we're going to start. So our breakout rooms are open. And next slide. This is where you're going for the next 15 minutes. Next slide. Next slide. Yep, already talked about that. Okay, so round 1 is where we are. These are the rooms. The rooms are open. So Nina Menga Rohitha, you're in Biggie. Dereje Gia, you're in Tupac. MC Light is Ayana, Rebecca, and Kevin. Nas is Beth, Jacqueline, and Mateo. Lil Kim is James, Kevin, I, and Brittany. Drake is Joyanna and JJ. And Queen Latifah is Hoel and Rashid. If you end up somewhere, if we have missing people, and you end up somewhere there isn't someone, hang tight in the room and we'll let you know where you're going. Okay, this happens every year. So please take a screenshot of this, take a picture of this, commit it to memory. You're going to need this when we announce it's time to move to know where you're going to your next room. Okay, so we've got 15 minutes on the first round. We'll say 14 to keep it on time. 14 minutes on the first round. Please head to your room. Take a picture of this. Make sure you have it. Head to your rooms.
Thank you all for watching. For more information on SICSS-Howard Mathematica, visit our website, follow us on social media, and join our email list.